Good evening and welcome to the November Recreation Commission meeting. This meeting of the Barnstable Recreation Commission is being recorded and will be replayed via Xfinity Channel 18 or High Definition Channel 1072. Anyone else desiring to make this recording should not. Our transmission must be notified before the chair. Okay. So let's begin our meeting with a roll call. Everyone. So I'll start with Tony.
Present.
Christine.
Present.
Tim.
Present.
Brendan.
Present.
Thank you, commissioners. I'll next ask for a motion to accept the minutes from both our July 7th and September 8th meeting.
So moved to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Tony. I'll ask for a second.
Second.
Any discussions or changes or any updates to those minutes? Hearing none, I will ask for a vote for the minutes and I'll go again through the list. Tony,
Yes, I agree to accept the minutes.
Christine,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and Brendan.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to move right into the first item for our old business, and it is my pleasure to introduce Christina Carrington as our new Recreation Commissioner. It is a pleasure to have you join us, Christine, and I'd like you just to share a little bit about yourself.
As you know, Christina Carrington, you can call me Tina, and hey, you will work too. I am residing here in Hyannis officially as of in February. I became a resident, finally got my license. We've owned a house here for about 5 years. My husband came here with family throughout the years, and I've come here throughout the years. This is where we want to retire. I do work for the Corps of Engineers over in Buzzards Bay. So I work there Monday through Friday, and I have past experience of being on a Park and Rec Commission board in the town of Ledyard, Connecticut for about 2 years. I think it was around 2012 to 2014. I wanted to join this commission after researching a bunch of different ones and finding out that you guys had some openings. And I thought it was my way of giving back to the community that I live in and learning about my community, collaborating with the board here and the commission to maybe make the community better, come up with some new ideas, fresh ideas, new person ideas, who knows? And maybe y'all can help me learn more about my community. Mostly to give back and get back into the grind of knowing what the community does, because I am fairly new here to the system. So, and I spoke with Renee earlier, and she says there's a couple things I can probably do coming up next fall, and tours and things like that. So I look forward to that. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And what name do you prefer? Tina, Christina? What is your preference?
Tina's fine.
All right, Tina. Nice and easy for me.
Very easy.
Sometimes as a commissioner, folks know I get a little overwhelmed with names, but thank you so much, Tina.
Anybody ever has any questions for me, just let me know.
Oh, thank you so much. So Tony, you're the next, you're no longer the new kid on the commission. I'd love you to
No, not the new kid on the block.
no longer. Please, Tony.
Welcome, Christina. This is, I think, my third year on the commission, maybe my fourth, but I'm going into my fourth. My wife and I live in Centerville. We have owned our house since 2011. We retired in 2021 and moved here full time then. similar to what you had said, I have always been a person that wants to give back to the community. I'm a career educator, 45 years working in schools, mostly private schools. I worked in schools in Connecticut, Michigan, and in California for 30 years before moving back. I've been an AD. I've been a teacher and a coach, and I have also been a head of school for a while. So I've seen a bunch of different hats. Giving back is always something that my wife and I have really preached in our work with schools, and I want to do that. I have found my work here and the people here really dedicated to what they want to do and making this just a better place. Barnstable has so much to give, and I think we can make things even better. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. I will then go to Tim.
Hi, Tim Luce. I've been on, I don't even know, I think since 2019, I think I joined right before COVID. I'm just a community person. I very much care about the Barnstable community. I also run youth sports programs, so it's kind of was right up my alley. So when my cousin Renee asked me to join, I didn't hesitate. Very interesting stuff, and have enjoyed it fully. So welcome, Tina, and I'm sure you'd be a great addition.
Thank you, Tim. And Brendan, last but not least, I love your story. You know that, so please.
I mean, the real story is like, again, I've been here for a long time. I think we're coming on 10 years now. Basically, I've worked for the rec department through high school, and then I was at the community college as like a 19-year-old, and Mark Ells was like, "Hey, bud, I want you to get involved." And yep, I've been on the committee, I think, through like one of these tours, Renee. I've seen a lot of different faces, a lot of different people come and go. But yep, I always like just trying to do a little bit of part to my community, right? And that's a little bit about me.
Thank you so much, Brendan. And I'll kind of switch in lieu of my introduction to the next item on the agenda, because it's something that we all can be proud of. And that is our most recent report for 2023 and 24. And the commission is an advisory commission, and we work hand in hand with the amazing recreation staff. And we really listen to the needs and wants of the staff and the needs and wants of our community. And we have three things that I'm extremely proud of. And that is, we influence three, what I would say are significant things for our recreation department just by listening to folks that have come to us. The first is we are the first Cape Cod community that has smoke-free beaches. And I remember it was probably over 15 years ago, we received one write-in letter from a physician who visited our beach and found the cigarette butts in the, excuse me for 1 second. I'm doing a dual task with my first granddaughter. This is Emma. And that one letter that came in from the physician resulted in our beaches being smoke-free. And it didn't happen overnight. We had several community meetings, and as you can imagine, the smokers didn't want yet another thing imposed on them, and the non-smokers, wanted smoke-free beaches. But the experience led us to believe, what was the common goal between both the smokers and the non-smokers? And both of those communities wanted clean beaches. And by finding that common goal, we were able to move forward with our town kind of self-managed smoke-free beaches. You don't see anyone walking around policing it. You see signs and people respecting our smoke-free beaches, which is good for everyone. The second thing that we accomplished, and this was a group that came to us, and that is the dog park that is now at Hathaway's Pond. That was something that people in our community came to us and said we should have a dog park. And I don't know if you visited that dog park. If you haven't, it's something that our town can be really proud of. And the third item is something that one single person came to our meeting before anyone on the Cape knew what pickleball was. And he said that pickleball was going to be quite significant and that we should invest in having pickleball courts in our town. And again, if you haven't visited our pickleball facilities, both in Osterville and in Marston's Mills, they really are quite nice and highly used by our community. So again, the Recreation Commission is an advisory committee, and we listen to our community in terms of their issues, wants, and concerns. We just finished up our third, Brendan talked about it, road trip, where we went out and looked at a number of different facilities. The road trip was led by our staff, and the findings all this time surrounded safety issues. And I'm glad to say that those safety issues have been addressed by our staff. So those are some of the influences that the Recreation Commission has done over the past. And I'm really glad to be on this commission, probably over, it's approaching, I'll say over 15 years. So to our listening audience, if you've heard things that interest you, please reach out to either myself or the staff at the Recreation Commission to find out the application and the process to apply to be a Recreation Commissioner. All righty, so our next item is the CPC assignment. Our CPC assignment, thanks to Tony, we now have someone who will be representing our commission on that committee. And Tony, just share a little bit about the CPC, and your appointment is coming up. Just mention when you will be voted in.
Sure. I think the way that the process works really quickly is it has to go through the appointments committee and then has to be sent on to the town council for final vote. I think that's supposed to be done at one of the council meetings in November. I'll find out more. I did go to one CPC meeting. As you know, it is CPC is made up of recreation, yes, and open space, conservation, and I do think, and housing is the last major compartment of CPC. It is a funding, and there's a good amount of funding that it does do. In fact, Renee has mentioned Osterville and the Centerville playgrounds. A good part of that budget is coming from CPC into funding those projects. And thanks to people like John and others to making sure that those things they're amazing. They're amazing playgrounds, and I think and I'm hoping that I will get to be an official member sometime this month.
Thank you, Tony, for that update, and thank you for taking on that role. That's a really important role because, as Tony mentioned, we actually really get to vote and steer where the funding goes. Probably a little bit more than the Recreation Commission, which is really advisory. In that capacity, you have some pretty significant responsibility with funding. Okay, so I am now glad to pass this on to Tim to introduce our guests this evening. So Tim, would you do the pleasure of introducing our guests?
Yes, and it is my pleasure. So tonight we've got Coach Ross Jacola. He's the head coach at Barnstable High School for the football team. Ross has been the coach for how many years, Ross?
This is sounds crazy, but my 8th season that we're in now.
8 seasons.
Yeah.
So as a lifelong Barnstable resident, graduate, everything, I've had the opportunity to see many sports at Barnstable, namely football. And I can say that the job that Ross has done has been nothing short of remarkable. And I don't just mean, I mean, he's an excellent football coach, but his contribution to the community is huge. His ability to relate to his players, and most importantly, to get his players to really buy into a culture at Barnstable that, in my opinion, was missing for several years before he got there. But it's really a remarkable thing to see what he's done with the program, and the fact that he's got, however many kids he's got in the program, 100 kids maybe in the program, freshman, JV, varsity, all really in tune to his message, and the respect that he has taught these kids how to live with, and the fact that he realizes that this is football, and the lessons that he teaches these kids really carry over into life. And I think that's probably one of his biggest strengths. He's got a lot of respect from a lot of people here, and I'm proud to call him a friend. He's gonna come on and speak now, just real quickly, because I know he's gonna go over it. But we've got the team in the playoffs starting this Friday night at home. We win that, we've got another home playoff game. That's a huge thing to have home playoff games, and it just means that they've had a super successful season. 7-1, I believe, is our record right now, which is awesome. And it just goes to show what he has instilled in these players and the respect that they have for him, to get out there every week and fight so hard. So we've got the Falmouth game coming up too, Thanksgiving, and a parade and everything. So Ross can speak to all that. But take it away, buddy.
Well, thank you very much, Tim. Those words are very kind and mean a lot to me. And like you said, I'm in my 8th season here at Barnstable. I can't believe how fast it's gone by. I can't believe I'm already here in season 8. But I can't express how proud I am to be the head football coach at such an awesome town as Barnstable, and with such a rich tradition and in the football program and the athletics, and just such a proud community. And when the job opened 8 years ago, this is something that, I had kind of always dreamed of as a kid that grew up on the Cape and wasn't lucky enough to attend Barnstable. I went to Dennis Yarmouth, but we always looked up to Barnstable, and I always tell people growing up that they were almost like the New England Patriots to us when they were winning Super Bowls in 95 and 99. And so when I had the opportunity to join this community and be a part of it, it was something that I jumped at, and I'm thankful for it every single day. And we're really lucky to work with awesome young men and women every day, and we do try to help them navigate life a little bit more every day, and be, like Tim said, a little bit more respectful, and any way that we can help them be better young men is our number one goal. And I think usually when that's what you put first, then the winning kind of takes care of itself. And we're just lucky to work with really, really awesome kids. And this year has been so far almost a historic year. We're 7-1. We only have one loss, which is an overtime loss to the number one team in the state of Rhode Island. And we were an extra point away from winning that game. We've earned the number 2 seed in Massachusetts in our division, going into the state tournament, which we're really excited about. And we're really excited to get to play a home playoff game this week. We hope the community comes out to support us. And then if we're lucky enough to win that, we'll get another home game. So having 2 home games is really huge at this point of the year. And I know teams don't love traveling down to the Cape, so that gives us a great home field advantage. And then moving forward, like Tim said, one of the biggest traditions that we talk about here is the Falmouth Barnstable rivalry that goes back, 130 years. And we try to really make that week special for the players in the program with, team dinners and events that we do, and the rolling rally that happens the day before the game on that Wednesday when we have school off. That's become an awesome tradition over the last few years. So we'd really like to get everyone out to that event. And if there's anything you guys can do to help get more people out to that event every year, it's been growing every year. And I'd like to see even more people this year, especially with the year we're having, to celebrate these great young men that we have playing. And we'll be at Falmouth this year. But the years that I've been here that we played at Falmouth, we've traveled really well. We've brought a great crowd, and the Falmouth Barnstable rivalry is something that I'm also really proud to be a part of, and I know our kids are excited about. So that's where we're at as a program. I'm really proud of where we're at. I'm really proud of the kids that we get to work with every single day. I'm proud of the community and the school that we get to work in. And if you guys have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
I'll open the floor for the commissioners first, if you have questions for Ross.
I don't have a question, but I did fail to mention too that Ross's reach goes beyond the football team, the high school football program. I mean, he also, the Silver Bullets youth program, he's huge. He's instrumental in that. Even the flag football league that I run, his kids playing it, he coaches in it. This guy really is somebody who cares about our community, and that's something I think is, I wouldn't say missing. I'm sure some other guys do it, but like his attention to that, I think needs to be brought up.
Thank you.
So I do have a question. Thank you for all that you do for our youth and the sport. Football, that there have been so many improvements and innovation in the area of safety. Can you talk about safety and those improvements and how they've been incorporated in our program?
Wow, that's a great question. I think football in general is one of the most proactive sports that is trying to become safer year in and year out. Obviously, there's, a huge concern with parents signing their kids up for football because of the concussion numbers, especially. And I think the evolution from when, I played, 20 something years ago till now is huge, just in the technology of all the equipment, the helmets, the shoulder pads, everything that we are putting on the kids is improving, but more so how we practice is becoming a really important to the sport of football, and how we tackle, how we block, the amount of minutes that we're allowed for full contact in practice. We want to limit that as much as possible. And then obviously you want to teach the right technique. So there is a point in practice, especially early on in camp, where you want to teach the techniques of tackling and blocking, and you want to make sure they're doing it the right way, effectively, but also safely. And then we've done a lot of things as the season goes on to keep the kids safe, Monday through Thursday, where we don't, go live as much as we did in the past, and keeps them more fresh for Friday nights. Another thing that is huge in my world, and we brought to Barnstable, is the strength and conditioning program. And, working year round on developing strength in the muscles and the joints and the tendons, where we're proactively, creating a safer body for the kids, is huge too. So I think we do a great job of our kids in the strength and conditioning program, so they're physically prepared for the season when the contact arrives.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that answer, Ross. Are there any other questions?
I have one question, Ross. Well, first of all, you coach in a really tough sport, and congratulations on all you've done. It's one of the best. Something I've done. I've done a little coaching in the past, way back, well before you. But a wonderful sport. I have a question. At some of the schools I was at, Do you see there's been a sense that kids specialize in sports and they'll stay in a sport and that's it. Do
Yeah.
you see that trend moving in any direction? And what about your kids? Do they spread do they participate in other sports, or do you see them concentrating in just the one?
Oh man, yeah. So specialization is something that's talked about almost every day now, in the strength and conditioning world, and in the safety world. So like it kind of goes with the question that was just asked because, we're seeing a lot of injuries. I mean, from the NFL and NBA all the way down to the youth level, and some of that is attributed to overuse because there is such specialization. Um, so we've seen a huge, I thought at one period there was a big swing for the specialization and there's a big push for it. But I think I'm starting to see a resurgence of like multiple sport athletes right now, which is awesome. I think, we encourage it on the football team, especially. We tell them if you're, a lot of the kids on the football team play basketball or they play hockey or
Mhm.
they play baseball or they play lacrosse. And then if they're not involved with one of those, we're pushing them to wrestling. We're pushing them to track and field. We're trying to get more kids to do more activities. So in terms of our football team, we're encouraging multiple sports for many reasons. They're the social reasons where they're being around different groups of people, but also for their growth as athletes, moving in different ways, not just doing the same thing for 365 days where it can wear on them and almost become something that they don't enjoy anymore, mentally and physically. And then in terms of my own kids, I have three boys. We push them to play everything. So I have a 14-year-old that's a freshman on the team, and he's kind of dwindled it down to just football and basketball now. But our young ones are doing everything from flag football, soccer, basketball, baseball. We have them signed up for karate and swimming and just trying to do as many things as they can for multiple reasons, just to see what they enjoy the most and just keep them active. And that would be the same approach I would take with the football kids.
Well, kudos to you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? So my final question for you, Ross, is you heard
I don't want to interrupt you, Renee. I do have more of a comment than a question. Is it okay? I'll
Yes,
keep it brief,
Brandon.
like I always do. All right. There's Tina, this is more for you, and then for anybody that's more new to this town, right? I'll give a shout out to John and Mark too. There are people that we're just kind of spoiled to have in Barnstable. Ross is an example of that, right? He has reinvented Barnstable football to a point that it's like kind of crazy. As somebody who's dealt with the dark ages before and has basically from my dad been taught all of Barnstable lore, it's incredible the basically the program he's designed. So Ross, I know I have some ties to you, but I just want to always thank you that like you do way too much for Barnstable, more than you ever know. And I do love, Tim, you shouted out that it goes way beyond just coaching a football team. It's more like a mentality around Barnstable, and it's incredible, right? My one question for you, and I think you knew where this was coming, because do you think you can beat the Hockomock?
It's a great question. It's something we talk about all the time. So,
Yeah.
Brendan, we beat Milford in week 5, which
You know what I mean. When it counts, none of
Yep.
my siblings could do it, right?
Yeah. So
they could do it.
that was a huge game for
Massive.
us because of that getting over the hump, like making the kids believe that it is possible. So I think we scheduled that game appropriately, and we were able to defeat Milford here at Barnstable with the intentions that hoping it would carry over to the playoffs, because if we're going to make a run at this thing, there's going to be 2 or 3 Hawk teams in our way. So I feel like if any team could, it's this group right now. And that's an awesome question because that you totally, your whole family understands Barnstable football, and that's something that we talk about as a staff all the time. That's kind of been the big hurdle, and we're hoping to overcome it. So.
Yeah, no, I can't be pulling for you guys more, right? You've accomplished everything. You took down the swamp. You've done it. That's the last thing that we just need to get over.
I
Someone
was going to
beat
say,
off
I'm
about
glad you said something because the last time I came to the rec, you said the only thing I needed to do was win at the Lagoon. And when we
Yeah,
won there, I wanted to call you.
yeah. We're running out of mountains to climb here. I love it.
Yeah.
But
But
keep
this year
on
feels
crushing.
good. The
I
kids are in
love
a
it.
good place. So thank you. And those words mean a lot. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you, Brandon, for that. So Ross, the final question that I have for you, you heard a little bit about what we do and you've heard why some of the amazing folks are on the commission. If you don't have the answer today, I want you to think about it. If you have something in mind, how can we help you?
That's a great question. And it might take me some time to formulate that. I just I don't know. Right now, I'm not sure but I think just continued support as a community and just positive. I mean, one thing is, and I don't know how you guys can help with this, but getting more people out to the game. So just getting excited about the following. I felt like last week we were playing in a league championship and against a good Bridgewater Random team, and I was a little disappointed with the turnout. So just anything you guys can do to kind of promote the games and that goes for all, not for all our programs. I was the girls basketball coach here for a while, and we did a lot of things that to try to get the attendance up in those games and just any support like with things that we need around the school, any positive changes with facilities and things like that, or just getting, the youth more involved and I know there's lots of, Tim does a great job with his leagues and then the rec offers a lot of things, but just anything, I'll kind of put it back on to you, Renee. Is there anything I can do to help some of the rec programs so I feel more, intertwined with those? If there's a flag football league going on or things like that, I would love to go speak or be a part of it so we can work more together to make this, an even more powerful community.
So thank you, Ross. So one of the reasons we thought it was so important to have you at this meeting is we really wanted this meeting to be a public service announcement of all the great things that we have coming up. So if you could go through the games that are coming up, the parade and the Thursday, just give a PR of why we want our listening audience to be there to support our communities, to support our kids, and to support recreation.
Yeah. So, I mean, this Friday is a huge one. So this Friday at 6:30, we're playing at home against Doherty from Worcester. And this having a home playoff game is always exciting because like I said, they have to travel almost 2.5 hours down here. And then we want to have the support of the crowd and the community. And we want them to see how proud of the community we are and how much we support each other. If we're lucky enough to win that game, then we will have another playoff game the following Friday at 6:30. That's the plan. And if we can luckily win that one, then it goes to a neutral site. So I know years in the past we've done fan buses and we traveled really well. The last time we made it to the Final Four, we had a great turnout from our community. I think it was really cool to see how proud the community was. And then, like I said, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is always an awesome event at the Town Green, down the parade down Main Street in advance to the Thanksgiving Day game. And then, like I said, on Thanksgiving Day, we'll be playing at Falmouth. So that's our timeline for now. Hopefully, if everything goes our way, we'll be playing after Thanksgiving as well. But as we say in our program, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. We just keep saying go 1-0 every single day. So if we can just go 1-0 today and go 1-0 Friday, then that's what we want to do.
So I will also appeal to the recreation commissioners to participate. I am looking forward to being there for the parade on Wednesday and also the game in Falmouth on Thursday. So recreation commissioners, please join me if your calendar permits to be there, to feel the spirit, to support our amazing Barnstable football team. I'd also like to, as I transition from you, Ross, to the youth commissioners and Daniel Gomes, I'm going to ask you to come up. I'm going to change the schedule a little bit. I do think that there's some synergy between these amazing young youth leaders. The idea of having a youth commission goes back to one of the town managers saying, wouldn't it be nice to get what we are doing as adults started when students are in high school? And I don't even think middle school is too early. We have some great youth commissioners. I think what you're doing in terms of leadership, in terms of sportsmanship, is something that maybe there's an opportunity for you to visit them or them to visit you and get some synergy there. So again, Ross, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to make this kind of a tradition to have you every November to
Yeah.
kick off these exciting community outreach. And it's always surprising to realize how many people actually do listen to the Recreation Commission meetings. So again, thank you, Ross.
Thank you. And I'm glad to be a part of it each year. Thank you very much for including me.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
I'm going to move to our next agenda item, and I'd like to just adjust the sequence, and I'd like to pass this to Daniel Gomes because I know you may need to leave early for academic reasons or other commitments. So Daniel, I'd like you to give us an update.
All right, so well, I'll introduce myself first. My name is Daniel Gomes. I'm a senior at Barnstable High School, and I'm also the chair of the Youth Commission, the Barnstable Youth Commission. And well, for those who don't know, the Barnstable Youth Commission is a group of teenagers in the high school grades, and it's any high school in Barnstable. So I'm from Barnstable, obviously, and we have Sturgis, St. John Paul, schools like that. And we basically hold events across all of Barnstable for the youth. And some of these events, well, the one we have, I think, a month from now, an example of one of these events is called the Substance Abuse Forum. And basically what it is that it's like a night for parents to come to help raise awareness for substance abuse in our community so that parents can help talk to their kids in order to stop the abuse of substances. And basically, what the event is, like in specific, is that we have a couple of speakers, Kevin Rosario, Officer Stanfield, and Officer Downs, come to speak, and they speak about their experience with substance abuse. Kevin Rosario speaks about his youth, and the officers talk about what they have seen in the youth in the community. And the main, I guess you can say, the main site of this event it's called the Hidden Plain Sight Trailer, which basically what it is that it is a trailer, like a trailer attached to the end of a car, and it models a teenager's room. And what the officers have done to the trailer is that they have hidden like fake drugs in there where they have usually found them, so that parents can go in, play like a little game in there and try to find the drugs. And every single one the parents would find, the officers will explain the story. So I think one example I can remember was that there was a burnt spoon, which is obviously, when they would cook, I think, methamphetamine. And the officers would explain that, like, burnt spoon, that's obviously a sign of cooking drugs in the room. That's something you should be careful of. And yeah, the event is basically like that. This year we're trying to bring more parents because last year there was not too many parents, but this year we're trying to like put it out there more, and we're bringing in food and we're doing a raffle ticket as well to help convince more parents to come. Um, and yeah, that's that event. Another event we have is a job fair, which this one is directly to the youth. I would say mainly like freshmen or sophomores. And basically, what it is that you've probably seen it at the HYCC in the basketball courts. We have tons of different companies come and they promote themselves to the youth. We have buses that bring kids from after school all the way to the HYCC to just go find a job. Like there was, I think Chick-fil-A was there. There was also Starbucks. I know the Army likes to come there for the 18-year-olds. Yeah, so there's lots of people that come there. And there's also in the game room. I don't think we had it last year, but we do have sometimes some advisors that can help people help kids fill out their job application. Give them the whole process, which is obviously a very good life skill, not just for that moment, but obviously future moments. And that is later on in the year. I think that's in March. And then my last example is, I think, our biggest event. Well, yeah, I would say maybe our biggest event, which is the Youth Summit. And this is for the seventh graders. Yeah, seventh graders in Barnstable Intermediate School. And it's like a glance for them to see how the high school works, how the Barnstable High School works. And they have clubs from Barnstable High School go. They have sports teams go as well. And we also have motivational speakers. I think there was a magician last time. And they just go there. The kids have a great day. And they go to the club. They talk to all the high schoolers. The high schoolers mention like how high school life is. And yeah, it's just like a day for the kids to know how high school is. It's also at the end of the year. I think that's also March. That's right. And it's held at the Four Seas Community College. And yeah, it's just a fun day for the seventh graders. Well, if you have any questions.
So I'll open up for the question.
Are you a senior here, Daniel?
What's that?
Are you a senior?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What grade are you?
Oh, I'm a senior. Yeah.
I hear reverb echoing and
That's fine.
I have a question. Daniel, tell me what joined the youth.
So I joined the youth commission when I was in 8th grade, so that's like 4 or 5 years ago. And I joined it mainly because some of the topics that, the events discuss, they're really something that kind of resonate with me. Mainly the substance abuse, that's something I've always found it like a matter that needs to be discussed. It needs to be dealt with because it's very sad. I remember the first time my first year at the Barnstable Youth Commission, and we had the substance abuse forum. What they like to do at the end of the event is parents, with their permission, they put up pictures of their children who have lost their lives to substance abuse, and it's just for parents to walk around and they see these descriptions of all these children, all these like young adults that have lost their lives to substance abuse. And that's the moment that's like, really resonated with me. That was the moment where I realized it is really sad and there needs to be something that has to be done about this.
Thank you, Jim. Any other? I have a question for you, Jen. Upon graduation, what are you interested in doing?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you cutting out. It might be my computer.
Upon what are your plans?
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do after graduation?
Okay. Yeah. So sorry about that. I plan on going to college, 4-year college, obviously. And it's not like 100% sure, but I've been planning on doing something in law or something that can, really impact the community around me, something that can really help lives.
Thank you. So So let me.
Can someone about?
All
All
right.
righty.
Is
Is
everyone
everyone
the
the
echo?
echo? Yeah, some people are echoing.
It
It
might
might
be
be
the
the
link.
link.
I
You
believe-
might just want to, if you're not talking, you might want to put yourself on mute.
All right.
All right.
So everyone is on mute. You can still hear me? Okay, so I'd like to also encourage each of the recreation commissioners to participate in all or any one of the events that Daniel spoke of. I've had the opportunity to participate in all of them, and you will be just amazed at the events that our youth are putting forth. I'd also like to make a public service announcement to our listening community. If you are a parent, if you are a grandparent raising high school, middle school students, I don't even think it's too young for parents to go to this substance abuse event if their child is in elementary school, middle school, or high school. It's never too early to understand and learn things that can be prevented. And I think, Daniel, you gave an example that was one that maybe folks could figure out the spoon, right? But in visiting the trailer, there's some things that as a adult you find that you had no idea was an item that was a trigger for a parent that their child might be indulging in some type of substance abuse. So I think being informed and learning what is happening in the environment in this area is beneficial. So I will again say, if you're a parent, if you are a grandparent, if you're an aunt, an uncle, please come and learn what you can to prevent this situation that has impacted our community in quite a profound way. And we can do something about it. And kudos to the youth commissioners for hosting, in particular, the substance abuse event.
Yeah, just to echo that, Renee, I went last year. It's very well done, and Daniel, just because people aren't there, or the crowd isn't overfilling, doesn't mean that the work isn't very important. So keep it up. I encourage you to try to keep getting those parents. Sometimes it's the parents that need to be there that are not there, but I think it's so valuable. So keep it up.
And John, this is for both you and Mark. If there's a way that we can help you with some type of social media capture of this event, sometimes the time might be wrong, but with so much technology available to us, having someone film it or interview or whatever, what they learn from this substance abuse event and then push that out. So maybe they weren't able to physically attend the event, but we can package something so they can get some of the impact that this event addresses. So let's talk a little bit about that after the meeting. Any other questions before we move to our next event and say thank you very much, Daniel. We appreciate you joining us and hope you will join us again in our January meeting.
I do have one quick question, Renee, for Daniel. Daniel, will you go to the football game this Friday?
I actually have never went to a Barnstable football game before. I mainly do cross country, so the races and the football meets kind of overlap. But
Do you
yeah,
think you'll go this Friday?
yeah, I'll see if I can go. Yeah, probably bring friends. I'm not doing cross country this season, so.
And I will encourage you to invite your fellow youth commissioners because we really want to show up for the football team. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna go right back to the agenda. And I believe we have, let's see, Mark.
Good evening, Renee. Thank you. And good evening, all. So I'll jump into the HYCC staff report for tonight. First off, there's a little overlap here with my first things and John's, but winter program registration will be starting this Wednesday for residents and next Wednesday for non-residents. We are in the process of changing over our registration and reservation software. So that's been an ongoing process for the past couple months. Our staff's working hard, training through videos, and some of the staff has used this reservation system in their previous stops before the HYCC. So this will be a new process for most of us. But like I said, we'll be rolling it out this week. I wanted to mention we have a new cafe operator at the HYCC. It's M&G Concessions, Inc. They are calling themselves the M&G Grill at the HYCC. That's being run by Mike Gannon. Their hours of operation are 4 p.m. to 7:30 Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And Mike's quite flexible with those hours if something's going on above and beyond those timeframes that it seems pretty busy. He'll stick around, and everything's been going well thus far with him, and that's great. In the ice news, we had our first hockey tournament of the year a couple weeks back, the weekend of October 11th through 13th. It was called the Trick or Treat Bowl. It was hosted by one of our youth hockey organizations. It was great weekend and great success for all. We actually had our new Spark skate sharpeners in motion that weekend. We sharpened over 50 pairs of skates, which was pretty remarkable. In the past, many of you know we had an old style machine that only really one person was kind of trained on. We've opened that up this year. We've got some new technology, which leads us to some different sort of skate sharpeners, ones that you can kind of set your skate in, kind of program it. It kind of does its own thing. It has like some beam technology, which reads the blade, tells you how many passes everything has to do. And like everything, it's kind of newfangled with the technology and the kids. So it's real easy to kind of train the youth to do this because it's all ran over the computer, and the computer kind of analyzes everything, kicks back kind of a recipe of how to sharpen, and the user just kind of inputs that recipe into the machine and it takes over. So that was great. And we have new staff all trained in that new equipment. So it's going to open up a whole new line of revenue and allow us to do that sharpening kind of at any time that we're open. Our Learn to Skate for the fall is we have a new instructor, Akara Harris. She comes back to us after a little hiatus. And she's off and running. This past week was our first week of the new program, and we have about 50 participants so far in our second session of the fall. Rock nights are back. For those who don't know, Rock Night is a night once a month. We open up the rink to our middle school age students, 6th and 7th graders. They come out for about an hour and a half, and they get to skate around to the latest hits, and we have some fun activities for them to do while they're on the ice. The past 2 months have seen over 120 children at the last two, so we're off to a good start with that. On the gym and youth center news, SOAR's off to a great start. 30 participants. We're still accepting participants, and we have a new registration coming for the winter. We'll also hold a open house for that on November 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. in the gym and the game room. Our holiday meal distribution for Thanksgiving is, which we collaborate with the Family Table Collaborative, is on Tuesday, November 25th from 4:30 to 5:30. Kind of left the number here. Looking if the rec commission wants to help get the word out for anybody who'd like meals. They just call the number, or actually they text the number before November 24th with their name and how many meals. This has been a great, successful event we've been doing now for I want to say about 7 years with the Family Table Collaborative. And yeah, we probably do about 225 meals that day. It's a great thing. And we have our next community blood drive will be Monday, December 8th from 9:40 to 4 p.m. That'll take place in the little roundabout out front of the HYCC, where people kind of drop off for parking. And so, drop off their kids and so forth to the building. That'll take place that day. Lastly, or I kind of glossed over it, but I did have the fee increase, just mentioning that. I know I wasn't here 2 months ago when this was brought up, or the last meeting. So I wanted to make myself available if anybody, just to let everybody know that those recommendations have gone forward and will be going to the town manager on November 13th at 11 for those year increases that'll start in January. And I just wanted to kind of put it out there in case anybody had any discussion on that.
Thank you so much, Mark. I would like to go back to your public service announcement about the collaborative with the table collaborative and
Yep.
that date. So could you reiterate that for our
Yep.
listening audience?
So on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, from 4:30 to 5:30, we collaborate with the Family Table Collaborative. They come out and they give free meals to those in need. All you'd have to do is call or send a text to 508-348-9777 on or before Monday, November 24th. And just leave your first name and how many meals you'd be picking up on that Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Mark. I also wanted to open up the floor for the Recreation Commissioners. If you have any questions for Mark on the rate increases, we weren't able to ask Mark those questions last time, so I wanted to give the commissioners an opportunity to ask the questions if they have any.
Yep.
The one thing, Mark, I'd like you to share is the comparison of when was the last time we actually had the increases, so folks know that we really do take care and not increasing every year.
The last time we increased our fees was January 2023. It was a nominal kind of increase. It was $5 across the board in the gym, and it was 25 in the rink. This year, again, we just went 25 in the rink and 10 to the gym. Those were our last increases, and prior to that, I don't believe we've increased in quite some time prior to that. So I hope that answers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mark. Any other questions before I move on? All righty, thank you, Mark, and I'm going to move right on to John
Thank
for
you.
your report.
Good evening. Quickly go over, I don't want to go over too much because Mark covered most of it, but again, we do have program registration on November 5th for residents and November 12th for non-residents. We are switching over from our RecTrack software system that we've used for all of the 22 years that I've been here for, plus longer than that. We are switching over to MyRec software. It is a lot easier for the general public to use, and it has been very seamless for us to be using it internally to set things up. The account is active right now, so if you go onto our town website, you can find the links to the site. It is up and running. You can take a look. If you have any comments or questions, you can certainly shoot Mark or I an email about that. But over the past month or so, our focus has been reaching out through social media and emails. So if you had an account with us through RecTrack, I've sent out probably a couple emails regarding the switch. And then as of, even tonight, I think it's 7 o'clock, we have another post again about creating a new account. So we do have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and I believe Mark has one as well for the HYCC. So we're trying to post as much stuff as we can on that subject. Recently, I met with wind surfers and kite surfers about the potential share use of Camas Beach for a very, very long time. Windsurfing has only been allowed at Camas, but there has been talk about kite surfers that want to gain access. So we've met with both parties separately, and windsurfers are potentially amenable to allowing kite surfing as long as the rules are in place to promote safety and shared use. So over the course of the next month or so, I'll be working on some rules and then pushing that up the chain, ultimately to get in front of the town manager of those rules. So you would hear them first if you have any questions, and then we'd keep going up from there. I met with the Marine Environmental Affairs Office to discuss salary increases for our aquatic staff because we have some shared positions. So whatever we do affects what they do and vice versa. So we had a nice discussion on that. And then I met with, which we do on a routinely basis, meet with other rec professionals that are a part of the Mass Rec and Park Association. And we get together with all the Cape and Islands folks, and we do that probably 4 or 5 times a year. And we met a couple Thursdays ago on September 25th. Aquatic wise, a couple weeks ago, I attended the Calm Fire. They had a ceremony for new employees, for people that are retired, and we were given a special citation for the outstanding efforts that our lifeguard performed during a rescue this summer. So that was nice for those for us to be recognized and our lifeguards to be recognized for that. We sent out a thank you letter to all our aquatic staff because they do a tremendous job. And then we also had a gift for them to pick up. So while staff is coming back from college during maybe a Thanksgiving break, or they're in between semesters, they'll come and grab that. We got them at Beach Towel, so they'll come grab that. When the season was over, we went around and we cleaned up all the bathhouses to make sure that we put them to bed. So when we open up next season, we're good to go. The JFK Memorial staff ended on Columbus Day weekend, and they finished up for the season. They greet customers that come to see the memorial. They sell hats, and their last day was a couple weeks ago. We will not be selling parking permits for the beaches until we have our hearing with the town manager. And depending on whether those new fees are approved or not, we can't really start selling them until we know what we're actually going to be charging. So most likely, probably by mid-December, hopefully, we can start selling those once we know that the fees were approved or not. Let's see. I think I touched upon this a while ago, but we were looking at job descriptions for a lot of our staff, and we did that with our beach staff. And those will be submitted into HR. So when we ask for those fee increases, we're going to have new job descriptions. So, when we come to start promoting positions in February, we'll have all that in line, ready for those positions to be posted. And similar to when myself and our rest of our staff meet with the other rec professionals, George Noonan, our assistant director, Kelly Crowley, our program coordinator, and myself that run the beaches, we meet with other beach professionals from the Cape. And we met on Thursday, October 2nd, and we just kind of discussed how our summers went. We asked different questions to make sure if we want to do something new in the future. We found out if any other communities are doing something similar, so we can gain knowledge for them to maybe do different things for the following summer for us. Lastly, with program-wise, to open up some space for Mark once he gets really cranking after Thanksgiving. Not that he's not cranking already, but when high school hockey starts and games, the parking lot does get tied up. So we did take down the street soccer cage in the HYCC parking lot, and that will go back up in the spring. So I just want to thank DPW for doing that for us. Michelle Davies held a Halloween Monster Mash event at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center before Halloween. We had a great turnout. The gym was absolutely packed with families and kids running around having a great time. As of this meeting tonight, a lot of our fall programs are kind of winding down. They'll be over in the next week or two. And with the registration coming up on Wednesday, we're kind of, winding those programs down and gearing up for all our indoor, or most of our programs are indoors for the winter time. And then last but not least, just with some upcoming events, we do have a fall dodgeball tournament coming up. We have a 4th and 5th grade division, and we have a 6th and 7th grade division. So we're taking registrations now for that, and that is on our new software, MyRec. So you can register for those now. And then we have our annual turkey shoot event, which is a fun family event at the youth center where parents or guardians get to shoot baskets with their child to win Thanksgiving prizes and turkeys for Thanksgiving. If anyone has any questions, would be glad to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? All righty, John, thank you for your thorough report. I'm going to move quickly into liaison reports. And Tony, can you just give us a brief update on open space?
Yeah, very, very brief. That committee is moving along. They did come out with a draft. It's 240 pages of draft. So if you're really looking to put yourself to sleep at night, go take a look at that. And it's comprehensive. It is it has lots of data in there. It was brought up at the CPC meeting that I went to. An interesting. I'll just mention one point because a family from Hyannis came in and we're talking about equity and to talk about the playgrounds that have been done and work that have been done. But I think the commission, the CPC committee was receptive to thinking about where else can playgrounds, especially with playgrounds. That was a big topic for that from the study. They also talked, and one thing that John and I talked a little bit about was maintenance, ongoing maintenance of the facilities that we do have. Because if you look at just the listing of the facilities that Barnstable has, it's tremendous. But ongoing maintenance is so important, making sure that's funded. And then indoor facilities, as population changes and as Hyannis and Barnstable grows, more indoor potential of indoor recreational opportunities were there. And then I think they're doing another draft, another community meeting. Unfortunately, I'm going to be traveling. I'm not going to be able to go, but it is going to be videoed. So I'll take a look at that. So I get to see where the next step goes, and I'll report at our next meeting.
Thank you so much, Tony and Tina. This is a really good starting point to jump in with the open space activity because our town hasn't done a study like this for many years. And this is at the early stage of getting input, and then after the input is gathered, we will move toward what of those recommendations actually get implemented over the years. So you and I can talk about that when we have coffee. But open space is a great jumping in point. All righty, any other questions for Tony? The next report is on Sandy Neck. And so this is, there are no upcoming Sandy Net events that I can share with you, but I am going to ask the recreation commissioners to help me out. I am currently sitting on that board, and as you know, I am remote until probably May of next year, helping out with my granddaughter. So the need is someone starting in January to actually take on the board responsibility for Sandy Neck. They meet in person only on the second Monday of every month. The meeting starts at, I believe, 7 p.m. So it is not only after work, it's after dinner. And it is a quite an interesting, active board. There is a major project that is underway at Sandy Neck, and that is the moving of the parking lot. Because of the increase in water, the parking lot will be moved, and the funding has been secured. And I believe the actual work will be within the next year. So if you are interested in that board, it's a monthly commitment on the second Monday of every month. The meetings run under an hour and a half. Please reach out to me. Are there any other matters not anticipated by the chair? There is one thing that I'd like to mention, and it was an error on my part during our last meeting when we voted for the price increases. It's important for each of us to separate ourselves when there may be any indications of conflict of interest. And I will give you an example. So last year, for the last 2 consecutive years, a club that I am a member of and actually filled the role of president last year rented the facility at HYCC. In that case, I did not work directly with those arrangements because I'm on the Recreation Commission. So I removed myself from any of those votes, and I removed myself from any of the inner works of that rental agreement. So as Recreation Commissioners, we sometimes have a situation where we are active in an area that there could be a conflict of interest. And as the chair, I'm supposed to be really on top of those things, and I wasn't necessarily. So everyone on the Recreation Commission has a requirement every 2 or 3 years to either take the conflict of interest training or to take the updated version. And it's really important that we kind of check ourselves. And as the chair, I will help in checking us as well. Any questions there? All righty. So I thank everyone for their participation this evening. Our next meeting will be on Monday, January the 5th. We will not have a meeting on in December. So I will ask for a motion to close our meeting this evening.
Gonna
So
close.
move to adjourn.
Yes, and did I get a second from Tina?
Sir, second from me.
Yes, so thank you so much, and the meeting is officially over. I will definitely say one thing before we leave each other. If there's any way that you can participate in any of the events, the parade or the game, you won't be disappointed. It is a wonderful experience, especially Tina being relatively new to the town. You will see the town spirit, and you'll see much of what was talked about in terms of Ross's leadership of the football team. So thank you, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you while I'm in town December. Have a good,
Yes.
happy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye now.